The movie Home Alone has become a true cinematic classic, giving audiences countless unforgettable moments. But what happened to the actors who played the lead roles in this iconic film? How did their careers develop after filming, and what other projects have they undertaken? In this video, we'll take a closer look at the actors' journeys and find out how their lives changed after starring in this legendary comedy.
Macaulay Culkin, how the grown-up Kevin from Home Alone lives and how much he earns. Macaulay Carson Culkin was born on August 26, 1980 in New York. He was the third of 7 children in the family of Kit Culkin and Patricia Brentrup. The parents were never officially married and lived poorly. All 9 people were huddled in a small one-bedroom apartment. Macaulay doesn't even remember if there were any doors except the bathroom, but the lock there didn't even work. But he remembers the endless babies and the rapidly shrinking living space. The father was in charge of the house, and his attitude was cruel. He harassed the children, humiliated them, and used physical violence. Having not achieved any success as a theater actor, Kit saw in them an opportunity to realize his dream. This plan was hatched when little Macaulay started showing some acting abilities. Per friends' advice, the parents sent the boy to a children's theater studio where he studied choreography and acting. At 4, Macaulay made his debut at the New York Philharmonic. The stage seemed so huge to him that if he didn't shout out his lines as loudly as possible, the audience wouldn't even notice him. The loud-voiced kid was very much liked by the audience, and they even gave him soft toys. After one of the performances, the advertisers became interested in the boy, considering his face suitable for commercials. In addition, in 1985, Culkin made his TV debut, playing in the Halloween movie The Midnight Hour. Since 1988, the boy regularly replenished his filmography, appearing in the TV series The Equalizer and the dramas Rocket Gibraltar and See You in the Morning. Little Macaulay starred in Oliver Stone's film Born on the 4th of July, but his scenes didn't make the final cut. Macaulay was brought up in Catholic traditions and attended St. Joseph's School, but later moved to the Professional Children's School. It's a special school for creative children who don't have time to attend classes in person. The family comedy Uncle Buck brought success to the little actor, and Macaulay was entitled to $40,000. The movie stayed in first place at the American box office for 4 weeks. It also attracted the attention of screenwriter and producer John Hughes, who was looking for a leading actor for his next project, Home Alone. He immediately realized that Culkin was the perfect Kevin, but director Chris Columbus decided to hold the auditions anyway. He saw hundreds of child actors before admitting Hughes was right and went with Macaulay. According to the child labor laws, the young actor could only work 5 hours a day, but he still got really tired. Between takes, he slept on the hard floor and eventually caught a cold. The producers had to give him a break, but one scene with sick Macaulay still made the cut, namely the episode where Kevin runs away from a policeman after stealing a toothbrush. At the same time, the young actor became very close with his on-screen mother, Catherine O'Hara. When many years later they met again at one of the events, Culkin greeted Catherine with Mommy, and she called him Baby in response. No one knew what a huge success Home Alone would be, so the budget was limited, and the salary of the lead actor was only $100,000. But when the film was released in November 1990, the excitement was unprecedented. In just 6 months, the film managed to collect about $500,000 at the global box office, and Culkin received the Young Actor Award and was also nominated for a Golden Globe.
I wash my hair with the Don't Formula shampoo and use cream rinse for that Just Wash shine. I can't seem to find my toothbrush, so I'll pick one up when I go out today. Other than that, I'm in good shape.
The actor has conflicting feelings about the film that brought him world fame. Macaulay admitted that he doesn't like to watch the film since behind-the-scenes memories don't allow him to enjoy what is happening on the screen. At the same time, he never hesitated to use Home Alone to impress the girls. And the main actor still wonders why such a smart and quick-witted kid like Kevin didn't call the police when the robbers tried to break into the house. In the early 90s, offers were made to the talented child one after another. Meanwhile, Kit Culkin was in charge of his son's financial affairs, becoming his manager and agent. Macaulay starred in the films Only the Lonely and My Girl, for which he was paid $1 million. Together with his on-set partner, Anna Chlumsky, he received an age-inappropriate MTV award for Best Kiss for the latter.
It's gonna be alive if she finds out I'm out here. Let's go to the church. They're playing bingo tonight. I told you I'd get in trouble. Pacifist. I'm not. Bedwetter. I stopped that.
Culkin continued to play on stage. At the same time, the ticket prices to his performances increased sharply, and they were sold out for months ahead. In addition, along with the voice acting in the animated series Wish Kid, 11-year-old Macaulay starred in the entertainment show Saturday Night Live. At the same time, his father forbade him to use cue cards, and the boy memorized all the lines by heart. And in the case of an unsuccessful performance, Culkin Sr. threatened to beat up his son. In 1991, the young actor was noticed by the king of pop, Michael Jackson, who invited him to his music video, Black or White. On the set, Macaulay became friends with the musician because he perfectly understood what it was like to be a child swept by world fame. A 22-year age difference didn't matter because Michael was a child at heart. With an amazing and yet weird sense of spontaneity, he and Culkin staged pranks and rode on rides at his Neverland estate. After growing up, Macaulay became the godfather of Michael's children. He always defended him against accusations, even under oath. But that was all many years later, and in 1992, it was decided to film the sequel to Home Alone. Negotiations on the main star's working conditions were difficult because Kit Culkin made a lot of demands. As a result, they agreed on a $4.5 million payout for Macaulay and a role for his younger brother Kieran. He had already appeared as the main character's cousin in the first part.
Your drawers, sir.
Jeez, don't flash these babies around here. There could be girls on this floor.
I was very careful, sir.
You can't be too careful when it involves underwear.
I understand.
Another condition from Kit was that Macaulay and his sister Quinn get roles in the next project of the studio, Good Son. In this psychological thriller, the payout for the young actor was $5 million. This was followed by the family fantasies The Nutcracker and The Pagemaster, an episode of the TV show Frasier, and the comedy Getting Even with Dad, with a record fee of $8 million. For this role, Culkin received a nomination for the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award for the worst male role.
After I raided your hiding place, I spread your coins out here on the table and videotaped them with my camera. I also got some good shots of you guys coming into the building, so I'm sure the cops will have no trouble identifying you.
What the hell are you trying to pull? You're a little weasel.
In reality, Macaulay couldn't get even with his father. He left the theater because there was no time for it. And if at first the boy liked the cinema, recognition, and fame, but then burnout came. He asked Culkin Sr. to let him rest and at least live a normal life for a while. But Kit did not want to let go of the gold mine. Macaulay starred in a lot of advertising. For example, Sprite and L. It was the end of Macaulay's childhood career because Kit Culkin literally bullied the producers. Each contract included clauses on the mandatory participation of his other children, which not everyone liked. The business behavior was called the Culkin family attack. In addition, Kit was interested in the amount of royalties much more than the quality of the scripts. Such an unprofessional approach quickly brought a negative result. Macaulay was no longer offered roles. A year later, the boy's parents separated. Patricia accused Kit of ruining their son's career and practically depriving him of a chance to restore it. The trial began, as a result of which custody of the children remained with the mother. No less important an issue was the fate of Macaulay's money. The young actor crossed out the names of both parents from his trust fund and found a proxy until he came of age. Culkin Sr. had kept his son in the dark about his fortune, so Macaulay was surprised when he found out it was $17 million. By the way, none of the children met with their father anymore. During the trial, Culkin didn't star in movies and took up education. Only in 1998, he appeared in the music video Sunday by the rock band Sonic Youth. Later, the actor started to play on the theater stage again. At that time, Macaulay felt lonely and found support only in a romantic relationship with a childhood friend, Rachel Miner. At 17, they decided to get married, for which they had to ask for written permission from their parents. But the early marriage didn't last long. In 2000, the young couple separated, and 2 years later, they officially divorced. At the same time, Culkin began dating actress Mila Kunis. Their relationship was warm and harmonious because the actors, whose careers in cinema had begun very early, had a lot in common. In 2003, Macaulay returned to the cinema, having received the main role in the youth tragic comedy Party Monster. Culkin played Michael Alec, a real person who turned from a simple waiter into a legend of the New York club scene.
Oh, typical James. Tired old drug addict. Can't even stay awake for your own movie. Not that it's your movie. You think it's yours, but it's really mine. All mine.
While preparing for the shooting, the actor would visit Michael in prison, where he was serving his sentence. Interestingly, Marilyn Manson, who many consider the living embodiment of all possible vices, starred in the film together with Macaulay. It was Macaulay who bought the first pack of cigarettes in his life for the Antichrist, as they call him, which Culkin considers quite ironic. After that came the roles in an episode of the TV series Will and Grace, the comedy drama Saved, the adventure drama Jerusalemsky Syndrome, and the comedy drama Sex and Breakfast, as well as the voice acting role in the animated series Robot Chicken. During the same period, Culkin was arrested several times for drug possession. The first time he was briefly imprisoned, but then released on bail of $4,000. And for the following offenses, he was sentenced to 3 years of probation and a fine of $540. Macaulay's life story was the basis of his semi-autobiographical work, Junior. The book was published in 2006, and like many other celebrity projects, was met with equal praise and skepticism. In 2008, a tragedy happened in the Culkin family. His older sister Dakota was fatally hit by a car. In their last conversation, she praised her brother for his work in The Party Monster and wished for him to stay relevant and not lose enthusiasm. But the loss of a loved one severely crippled Macaulay and pushed him into bad habits. The work helped a little, and in 2009, he was invited to the fantastic multi-part drama Kings. But then problems arose in his relationship with Mila Kunis. Due to the inappropriate behavior of Macaulay's fans, the lovers could not calmly walk down the street, and Kunis felt uncomfortable. The young man wanted to propose to his beloved, but she didn't believe in marriage at that time, and apparently initiated the breakup in 2011. Mila later admitted that in her 20s, she was a complete fool and the breakup was very painful. Nevertheless, they remained close to each other. The breakup was the last straw for Culkin. He fell into a severe depression and in December 2012 even tried to take his own life. Fortunately, the attempt was unsuccessful. The media wrote that the forgotten movie star had hit rock bottom, spending $6,000 each month on drugs, and how he had no more than 6 months to live. Representatives of the actor immediately called such articles false and discrediting the honor of Macaulay. And later, he denied rumors of drug addiction, and he could only laugh at the articles about his death. At that time, Macaulay appeared only in the sketch project The Wrong Ferrari, filmed by musician, producer, and artist Adam Green on a smartphone. In 2013, Culkin founded a parody cover band, Pizza Underground. The musicians sang the song of the popular rock band, The Velvet Underground, changing the lyrics about pizza, lactose intolerance, and alcoholics. In America, the project was a success, but the first tour in the UK ended with booing. When Culkin's band took to the stage in Nottingham, the audience, who apparently were fans of the Velvet Underground, decided that their favorites were being ridiculed. Soon, they started throwing trash onto the stage and whistling and humming. So after 15 minutes, the artists were forced to leave the stage. By the way, Macaulay dated for several years a member of his band, Jordan Lane Price. There were rumors about an imminent wedding, but they separated in 2017. A year earlier, the band broke up, but Macaulay Culkin stayed in the music field and moonlighted as a DJ in nightclubs. He also returned to the cinema by filming in the comedy The Jim Gaffigan Show, the low-budget fantasy Adam Green's Aladdin, and a series of short films called Drivers. In the pilot episode, the actor returned to the image of Kevin from Home Alone for the first time in 23 years. He also transformed into the iconic rock musician Kurt Cobain in Josh Tillman's music video and sometimes appeared on television. In 2019, viewers saw Macaulay in the movie Changeland and an episode of the TV series Dollface. In both projects, his partner was actress Brenda Song, and they soon started dating. The girl became a Disney star quite early, albeit not on the same scale as Culkin, so they had a lot in common. Their relationship developed so smoothly that Macaulay was always looking for a catch, but there was none. So the young people stopped hiding their feelings and soon moved in together. Song is happy to tell in interviews how incredibly kind, loyal, sweet, and smart her partner is, and he, in turn, pleases his beloved with touching gifts. For example, one Christmas, Culkin gave her a kitten, which the girl named Santa Claus. After a few years of relationship, Macaulay and Brenda started thinking about a child, and in 2021, their dream came true. On April 5th, the couple welcomed a son, Dakota Song Culkin, after the actor's late sister. The celebrities don't have a nanny, but Brenda's mother helps. She would bring the child to sets so that the mother could feed him and spend time with him during the day. At the beginning of 2022, it became known that the lovers were going to get married, and now the wedding planning is in full force. Song even launched the wedding collection with Amazon Handmade, inspired by these preparations. For a long time, Macaulay's main activity was a parody lifestyle website, Bunny Ears, and a podcast of the same name, which is why he started calling himself a house husband. But recently, Culkin has returned to his profession. In 2021, Macaulay appeared in the 10th season of the horror drama television series American Horror Story. The actor gave his consent to the role by phone, after the screenwriter of the project, Ryan Murphy, promised him a love scene with Kathy Bates. "This seems to be the role I was born to play," Macaulay replied.
Well, then it's 50 for the foot, because there you're going.
I'll give you 200 for taste.
No, you almost killed me last time. You took it too far, Bill.
In 2022, Macaulay starred in 2 episodes of the Righteous Gemstones series and voiced the animated picture Intergalactic. The actor admitted that he rarely goes to auditions and is not very good at them. For example, Culkin had a chance to star in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he failed the audition. He admitted that he wouldn't have hired himself after such a failure. As for the role in the sitcom The Big Bang Theory, Macaulay refused it several times, even though he could have earned tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. Now his fortune is estimated at $18 million, earned in his youth and from advertising contracts. He was an ambassador of Swedish sock manufacturer Happy Socks Christmas collection. Culkin appeared in a commercial for Google Assistant in his iconic image. In the video, adult Kevin is home alone again around Christmas, but this time, his company is the digital assistant. Also, the actor promoted Golden Road beer on his Instagram account. He has also modeled briefly for Gucci, produced the comedy video game Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove, and gets income from properties that are, according to him, scattered around the world. Back in the early 2000s, he bought a $1.7 million Manhattan loft, which he later turned into a 90s-inspired art studio. In the 2010s, Culkin lived in his Paris apartment, but after meeting Brenda Song, he moved in with her in a 1-story, 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house in Los Angeles' Studio City. Shortly after engagement, Culkin and Song paid $8 million for a 1,400 square foot two-story house in the Toluca Lake area of Los Angeles. Macaulay is rarely seen driving a car. It is only known that he had a black Lexus SC430 in his garage. Among Macaulay's hobbies are wrestling and video games. He's also still interested in acting, or rather the filming process, but he gets annoyed by everything that comes along with it. The Macaulay brothers, Kieran and Rory, continue the creative dynasty. Do you think Macaulay Culkin will be able to repeat his childhood success, and does he need it?
That's it! I'm going around the front, you go down the basement!
Joe Pesci. How the wet bandit from Home Alone lives and what happened to him. Joseph Frank Pesci, or simply Joe Pesci, was born on February 9, 1943 in Newark, New Jersey. His family is of Italian origin, and his last name means fish. Joe's father, Angelo, worked as a loader driver at General Motors, and in the evenings, he worked as a bartender. His mother, Maria, was a part-time hairdresser, devoting the rest of her time to household chores. Joe's acting talent manifested itself in early childhood. At the age of 4, he first appeared on the radio, and when he turned 5, he made his debut on the stage of one of the theaters in New York. When the Pesci family moved to the neighboring town of Belleville in the late 40s, the boy went to school there, and at the age of 10, he performed regularly on a television variety show called Startime Kids. As a teenager, he practiced judo, but his real dream was to become a musician. Joe was friends with singers Frankie Valli and Tommy DeVito, even though they were much older than him. And in 1959, at the age of 16, he helped them meet singer and songwriter Bob Gaudio. In this way, he contributed to the creation of The Four Seasons, which was soon to be a great success. Many years later, Pesci even played a character in the musical Jersey Boys, which told the story of that popular band. Joe played guitar in several bands in the 60s, simultaneously earning a living as a hairdresser. Besides, in 1961, he appeared in the movie Hey, Let's Twist as a dancer, but was not even listed in the credits. In 1964, Pesci got married for the first time. He just turned 21, and his fiancée was 18. According to the actor, they were both too young and didn't know each other at all, so the marriage broke up a year later. At the same time, Pesci didn't leave his dreams of a musical career, and in 1968, under the name of Joe Ritchie, he released his debut album entitled Little Joe Sure Can Sing. In it, the young man performed covers of pop hits, but the record failed. He also tried his hand at stand-up, performing in a duet with his friend Frank Vincent in clubs and restaurants in New York. After that, Pesci tried his luck in the cinema again in 1976, playing the role of a corrupt policeman in the crime drama The Death Collector. The movie didn't bring success to its creators and actors, and after that, Joe was forced to leave for New York, where he got a job managing a restaurant in the Bronx and lived in a tiny room above it. He was about to give up acting ambitions, but his performance in The Death Collector was noticed by Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. 3 years later, they invited Joe to star as Jake LaMotta's brother in the new project Raging Bull.
Well, go ahead and kill everybody. You're a tough guy. Go kill people. Kill Vicky, kill Salvi, kill Tommy Como, kill me while you're at it. What do I care? You're killing yourself the way you eat. You're a fat fuck. Look at you.
This was a sports biopic about a famous boxer, known both for his achievements and for his tough, unbridled temper and tendency to self-destruction. It was released in November 1980 and eventually became a cult classic. Viewers and critics faced an unprecedented cocktail of violence and outbursts of anger, which filled the biography of the athlete. But this didn't prevent the movie from receiving many nominations for the major film awards. Pesci won the BAFTA Film Award for newcomer to leading film roles and received his first nomination for a Golden Globe and an Oscar. The National Society of Film Critics also paid attention to the actor. He was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. In Raging Bull, Joe co-starred with Robert De Niro, and they became not only a successful movie duo, but also good friends. It didn't hurt the friendship that during the filming of the fight, Robert accidentally broke Joe's rib. In the next few years, Pesci starred in such films as the German crime drama Dear Mr. Wonderful, the biopic I'm Dancing as Fast as I Can, the thriller Eureka, and the comedy Easy Money. After that, the actor met De Niro again on the set of Sergio Leone's crime drama Once Upon a Time in America, which was released in 1984. Joe appeared in it for a very short time, playing the gangster Frankie, who instructed the main character and his friends to pull off a tricky deal with diamonds.
What he means is that it's something that's very simple. But for now, he needs kids from outside to handle it. I mean, he just found out that they're gonna move these diamonds to Holland in a few days. So something came up right away.
Pesci chose this character himself. Initially, he auditioned for the role of Max, a friend of the main character, but he was not approved. Then the director suggested the actor choose another role. Then Pesci's filmography was replenished by the crime comedy Everybody in Jail, TV series Half Nelson, and the Franco-Italian thriller Man on Fire. In the late 80s, he was invited by Michael Jackson to his musical anthology film Moonwalker. Pesci got the role of the villain, Mr. Big, in the sixth and longest segment called Smooth Criminal. At the same time, Joe got married again. His fiancée was the model Claudia Harrow, who gave birth to the actor's daughter, Tiffany. According to some reports, the girl followed in her mother's footsteps and also became a model. And according to others, she suffers from a mental disorder and is forced to live in a specialized clinic. As for her parents, they divorced in 1992 and remained friends. Joe not only paid his ex-wife $3 million as part of the divorce process, but also helped her launch her acting career. On the 5 films she starred in, 4 were Pesci's films. However, this friendship went sideways for Joe because many years later he was involved in a high-profile lawsuit. Claudia was charged with the attempted murder of her ex-husband, stuntman Garrett Warren. After the divorce, the man received joint custody of their little daughter, and Harrow retaliated by hiring a hitman for $10,000. Where she got the money from is unknown, but one of the potential sources was Joe Pesci. Nevertheless, there was no evidence of the actor's involvement in the crime, and charges were never brought against him. Meanwhile, moviegoers could see Pesci in such films as The Legendary Life of Ernest Hemingway, Betsy's Wedding, Catch Fire, and Lethal Weapon 2.
Okay, let me see a badge.
Shut up.
Okay, I get it. Bad cop, good cop.
Shut up.
Okay. Bad cop. I got it. I know.
In the latter, he played the role of a witness whose testimony was supposed to help the police uncover the plan of the criminals. The movie became almost more popular than the first part, receiving almost $230 million at the box office. Another successful film of the early 90s was the crime drama Goodfellas.
How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Tommy.
You motherfucker! I almost had him! You stuttering prick!
In it, Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and director Martin Scorsese once again teamed up to film Nicholas Pileggi's novel, Wise Guy. The actor played a villain whose charm and soft facial features went against his behavior. And for this work, he was nominated for a Golden Globe and received an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Moreover, Pesci himself was sure that he would lose, so his thank you speech was as short as possible. He just said, "It's my privilege, thank you." Goodfellas was also appreciated by the actor's mother, but she didn't like that her son swears too much on the screen. There were really a lot of swear words. During the film, the F word and its variants were used 275 times in total, and in most cases, Joe Pesci's character was the one who said them. Another movie of that period starring Pesci proved that he is able to act not only in crime stories, but also in family films. In the Christmas comedy Home Alone, from screenwriter John Hughes and director Chris Columbus, Joe played the unlucky thief Harry, one of a couple of robbers who were nicknamed the Wet Bandits.
Heads up! Don't worry, Marv, I'll get him for you.
Pesci's character was the brain of this criminal duo, and the performer of the main role, Macaulay Culkin, was scared of him even outside the set. The actor refused to treat the boy kindly and didn't talk to him much. And during the rehearsal of the scene where Kevin is hung on a hook, he actually bit his finger. Pesci was also constantly swearing, and Chris Columbus suggested replacing the F word with fridge. But it's still rumored that Joe filled the swear jar completely in just one day. The adult actors had to put change in it whenever they used obscene language. A few years later, Pesci starred in the sequel to Kevin's Adventures, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. And during the filming, besides numerous bruises and minor injuries, he suffered a severe head burn. Also, the actor appeared in Lethal Weapon 3, the thriller JFK, the comedy movies The Super, My Son Vinny, and With Honors, as well as 3 crime films, The Public Eye, A Bronx Tale, and Jimmy Hollywood. Joe Pesci's film for the latter film was $3.5 million. In 1995, Scorsese adapted another book by Nicholas Pileggi and filmed a poignant gangster drama Casino, in which, as expected, the audience saw the duet of De Niro and Pesci. According to Scorsese, without them, he wouldn't have been able to succeed as a director.
Maybe if I stick your fucking face through this window over here, like, you know, you'll get unconfused. Give me the fucking money.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah, I know. That's why you had it ready. You thought I was fucking laying it?
Fucking head.
Most critics recognized that in the Casino, Joe fully revealed his talent, but it came with a price. Ironically, he broke the same rib as on the set of Raging Bull. In his next film, the 1997 crime comedy 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag, Pesci wore a special denture, and a bit later, the movie Gone Fishin' premiered. A year later, the 4th part of Lethal Weapon was released, for which the actor received a fee of $3 million. After that, Pesci announced the end of his acting career. He said that at some point he lost himself in a series of movie characters and unexpectedly realized it on the golf course during a golf swing. This realization gave Joe the idea to return to music. In 1998, he released his second mini-album. It was both a humorous and serious multi-genre work, although most of it was big band jazz. At the same time, the cinema didn't let him go, because many songs are sung from the point of view of his character in the film My Cousin Vinny, and the album title also refers to him. Vincent LaGuardia Gambini sings Just For You. The song Wise Guy stands out the most, where Joe sampled Blondie's song Rapture.
Don't do blow and I don't sell crack. Stay alert, I got someone to whack.
After the second divorce, Joe Pesci has been trying to avoid serious relationships. At the same time, he briefly dated actress and model Leanne Littrell, but in 2000, he finally gave up and began a long-term relationship with Angie Everhart, a former girlfriend and even fiancée of Sylvester Stallone. 7 years later, Pesci proposed to the woman, but the wedding never took place, because less than a year after the engagement, the couple broke up. In the 2000s, Pesci reconsidered his decision to end his film career, making an exception for a friend. In 2006, he appeared in Robert De Niro's directorial work, The Good Shepherd.
We Italians, we got our families and we got the church. The Irish, they have the homeland. The Jews, their tradition. Even the niggers, they got their music.
Joe played a small role, but the audience was still glad to have him back. But critics' reaction to the film was rather lukewarm. Some even called it sluggish and unconvincing. The next time Pesci agreed to return to the screen was in 2010. He and Helen Mirren played the organizers of the first brothel in Nevada in the comedy Love Ranch. Little is known about Joe's personal life after breaking up with Angie Everhart. There are rumors that he dated the owner of a flower shop in New York named Joey House, but there are no photos or other details on the internet. In 2011, the actor was supposed to play a friend of the main character in the crime biopic Gotti, and for this, he gained almost 30 pounds. However, the producers decided to transfer him to another role and offered a lower salary. The offended Pesci sued them for $3 million. How much he eventually received is unknown, because the lawsuit was settled out of court in 2013. The film, by the way, was released only in 2018. While working in the cinema brought Joe stress, playing golf helped him to relax. He played every day, and his partners on the golf course were Jack Nicholson, John Daly, and Dennis Hopper. By the way, For a while, horse racing was another hobby of the actor, and he was a co-owner of a racehorse named Pesci. After the failure with Gotti, the actor refused to work in the cinema for a long time. He said no dozens of times, even to his friends De Niro and Scorsese, who planned to film a movie based on a true story of racketeer Frank Sheeran. In the end, Pesci agreed with the argument that this might be the last chance for all three of them to participate in one project, and gave up. In the film The Irishman, Joe played Russell Bufalino, one of the key figures of the narrative, the head of a criminal family and a friend of De Niro's character, and they were accompanied by Al Pacino. It was a truly stellar cast. To assemble the team, Netflix paid $105 million. The premiere took place in 2019, and critics praised the film. It tells the story of the Irishman in the context of American history and exposes the immorality of big politics, which through Scorsese's lens looks very similar to the mafia.
Cuba. Getting us back into casinos. Getting us back into Havana. Like getting rid of that fucking Castro prick.
Joe Pesci has been nominated for an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award, a Golden Globe, and an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. The only thing that wasn't perceived well was the digital rejuvenation of the three main characters, each of whom was over 70. Also in 2019, Pesci released his third album of 13 jazz songs called Still Singing. Critics called the record more lounge than jazz. In other words, lighter, and the critics appreciated the pleasant voice of the performer. The song My Sherry Amore, recorded as a duet with the popular musician Adam Levine, is particularly noteworthy.
How I wish that you were mine.
Although Joe Pesci rarely appears in movies, he has managed to accumulate a fortune estimated at $50 million. It is believed that in the 90s, the actor earned about $20 million, $2 million per film on average, and the total earnings for his entire acting career amounted to about $35.5 million. At the same time, at least 45% of this amount went to taxes. Pesci's earnings were not limited to film royalties. Sometimes he also received advertising contracts. In the 90s, Joe voiced the video for Pepsi. In 2011, he portrayed the alter ego of a young man in a Snickers advertisement. And in 2019, he reprised his role from Home Alone in a video for Google. For a long time, Joe lived on the East Coast of the USA. In 1994, he paid $850,000 for a mansion with an area of almost 8,000 square feet in New Jersey. It has 8 bedrooms, the main one has a private balcony, a luxurious bathroom, and a private office. Besides, the house has a spacious living room, several dining rooms, a kitchen, a media room, and a minibar. And outside, it has an outdoor heated swimming pool, spa, and even a private pier. In 2019, Pesci put the house up for sale for $6.5 million and sold it in October of 2021 for an unknown price. It is reported that after the sale, the actor moved to California. Joe Pesci has a black vintage car in his garage, but in general, he tries to keep the details of his private life a secret. Many colleagues spoke of him as a gentle and modest person, despite the fact that he played many hot-tempered and violent characters. Perhaps we will see Joe on the screen again, because his friends are still working in show business. What role would you like to see him in?
Harry! I'm coming in! The one and only.
Daniel Stern, what happened to the wet bandit Marv from Home Alone?
How could this possibly be what you end up like?
Well, I'm going to try to take that as a compliment.
Daniel Jacob Stern was born on August 28, 1957 in Bethesda, Maryland. His parents are Jewish. His father, Leonard Stern, was a social worker and his mother, Cynthia, ran a child care center. Daniel has a younger brother named David Michael Stern, who also chose to pursue a career in cinema, becoming a TV writer. The Sterns wanted to cultivate a love for art in their sons and encourage their artistic creativity. Daniel went to Bethesda Chevy Chase High School and jumped at every opportunity to participate in stage productions. The boy started to demonstrate his acting talent from an early age and even got a leading part in the school production of the musical Promises, Promises. During his senior year of high school, he played Tevye the Dairyman in the musical Fiddler on the Roof. By the time Stern turned 14, he set his heart on becoming an actor, even though he knew he would have to invest a lot of time and effort to make this dream come true. He took on a part-time job as a gas station worker to fund his education in the future. Daniel wiped the car windows and pumped gas. Apart from salary, he lived off tips. One time, the guy heard that the city of Washington would be hosting a Shakespeare festival. He wanted to be part of it so badly that he was willing to take on any job, so he applied for the position of lighting engineer. Stern made such a good impression during his interview that he was promoted to a walk-on in the production of The Taming of the Shrew, starring Glenn Close. He also got to be in the production of Shakespeare's comedy As You Like It. It was the moment Daniel knew that he could make a living as an actor. Stern dropped out of school a year before graduating to go to New York. There, he enrolled in acting lessons at HB Studio in Greenwich Village. His teachers were the American actor and director Austin Pendleton and Austrian-American actor Herbert Berghoff. Daniel's talents for acting started to shine through even more after he took the classes and parts in theater productions began to roll in. The young man starred in off-Broadway shows first, and then he started getting roles in Broadway productions. He performed on stage at the Public Theater in New York, Cherry Lane, and Manhattan Theater Club. Stern joined the famous troupe named Second Stage Theater. He worked with the actor Bob Gunton and got both leading and supporting roles in different productions. Daniel's career in cinema began in 1979 when the director, Peter Yates, cast him in the youth comedy drama Breaking Away. Although it was Stern's debut, he got a leading role portraying Cyril, a teenager who is daring enough to start a cycling team with his friends and challenge the best athletes in the university. The movie scored several Oscar nominations and won in the category for Best Original Screenplay. In addition to that, the movie got a Golden Globe as the Best Comedy Motion Picture of 1979.
You know, like when they get hit on the head with a frying pan or something, and then their head looks like the frying pan with the handle and everything. And then they go boing, and their head comes back to normal.
The movie was definitely a success, and it's still considered to be one of the most inspiring American motion pictures. It was Daniel's golden ticket into Hollywood. On top of that, he got $8,000 for the role, which was a whole fortune for him back at the time. Stern spent the next 10 years starring in one film after another. In 1979, he got a bit role as a student in the comedy Starting Over. A year later, he was cast in the drama A Small Circle of Friends. After that, he got a part in Woody Allen's black and white movie Stardust Memories. The comedy drama film received a warm welcome from critics and was nominated for a Writers Guild of America award for Best Comedy. As for our hero, he was over the moon about working with the famous director.
I tell you, I love you. I love your work.
Oh, thank you.
I'm an actor. Right now, I'm working as a busboy. Really, I am an actor. Anyway, I don't want to bug you or anything. I just wanted to give you a picture for your file.
You should mail this to my office.
During that time, Daniel also starred in the musical comedy One Trick Pony and in the comedy It's My Turn. Daniel got to work with Michael Douglas and Jill Clayburgh. Daniel was lucky not only when it came to his career, but also in his love life. In 1980, Stern tied the knot with his long-term girlfriend, Laura Matos. The ceremony took place in the backyard of the groom's parents. The happy couple shared the special day with their family and close friends. In 1981, the actor got a small part as a hitchhiker in the family comedy Honky Tonk Freeway. When he wasn't filming, the young man was in the theater perfecting his acting skills and participating in different productions. The next year, Stern was offered a leading role in Barry Levinson's movie Diner. It was a true gift from the universe as the cast was legendary. Mickey Rourke, Ellen Barkin, Steve Guttenberg, and Kevin Bacon. They played a group of school friends who spend time together in a diner talking about life, plans, and their deepest fears and dreams.
Is it too complicated to just keep my records in the category, okay? Just put the rock and roll in with the rock and roll. Put the R&B in with the R&B. You're not going to put Charlie Parker in with the rock and roll, would you?
The motion picture had Oscar and Golden Globe nominations. With a budget of $5 million, it grossed more than $14 million. After that, Daniel starred in the drama film I'm Dancing as Fast as I Can. However, 1982 brought Daniel something bigger than great works. On April 12, he became a father for the first time. He and his wife welcomed their first son, Henry Isaac Stern. The boy excelled at school and extracurricular activities. He graduated from Harvard, worked as an environmental lawyer, and taught law at the University of California. Now, he's a politician elected to the California State Senate as a Democrat. In 1983, Stern appeared in the thriller Blue Thunder, the comedy Get Crazy, and the drama Daniel, directed by Sidney Lumet. The actor was stunned by Lumet's professionalism and admitted that counted his blessings as he did what he loved. In an interview, he said that he was planning on claiming his spot in the movie industry and working there for the next 50 years, playing the roles he enjoys. He was aware that his career could end at any moment, but he knew he had a fulfilling acting experience. The next year, our hero starred in the Bible-themed TV movie Samson and Delilah. Stern also made his debut in a new genre starring the horror movie Chud, abbreviation for cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. He portrayed the Reverend Shepherd who was leading the fight with underground monsters. As soon as the movie came out, critics absolutely destroyed it, but as the years went by, it became a classic. You can see allusions to it in TV shows like The Simpsons, Flash, Castle, and Archer. Later, Daniel appeared in the short comedy film Frankenweenie. The actor got to work with the legendary director Tim Burton while he was still looking for his signature style. The movie tells a story about a boy resurrecting his pet with the help of science. Stern played the kid's father.
Other parents worry about their kids getting into drugs.
I guess we're lucky. I bet he has the best science project this year.
Disney reps were appalled after the test screening as they believed that a movie like this would hurt the company's reputation. Tim Burton was fired after a scandal, and the motion picture waited 8 years before it got released. In 1985, Daniel starred in the rom-com Key Exchange and appeared in 10 episodes of the drama TV show Hometown. In 1986, the actor got another chance to work with the movie maestro Woody Allen on the movie Hannah and Her Sisters.
We're okay?
This is degrading. You don't buy paintings to blend in with a sofa.
It's not a sofa, it's an ottoman. God, for...
The movie got good reviews and grossed $40 million at the U.S. box office with a budget of $6.5 million. In the same year, the actor appeared in an episode of the TV show Comedy Factory and a peculiar movie, The Boss's Wife. Daniel plays the leading role of Joel Kiefer, a stock trader trying to move up the career ladder while the boss's wife tries to seduce the office worker. This is when Stern became a father for the second time. His daughter, Sophie, grew up to choose a career in music. In 1987, our hero was featured in the comedy Born in East LA and narrated the TV show The Wonder Years. Apart from his acting talents, Daniel has a soothing voice and great oratory skills. You can hear his voice in 114 episodes of the project. Apart from working as a narrator, Stern also directed several episodes of the show. The sitcom revolves around the childhood memories of a man named Kevin. Stern voiced the adult Kevin. Fun fact, the actor's son Henry took part in the show finale.
Dad, wanna play catch?
I'll be right there.
In 1988, Daniel appeared in the adventure movie Weekend War. He also starred in the thriller DOA and the comedy drama The Milagro Beanfield War. On January 23, 1989, Daniel and his wife welcomed their third child, daughter Ella Marie. When she grew up, she built a career in healthcare. After the birth of his youngest daughter, Stern starred in the sci-fi movie Leviathan and the family comedy Little Monsters. The movie is about a little boy who becomes friends with a monster under his bed. Daniel played the boy's father.
The plumber's coming next week.
Great. I can leave them all these dishes.
Just keep telling yourself it's our dream house.
Dream house, the dream house.
Fun fact, the actor Fred Savage, who played the leading role, also played the main character in the TV show The Wonder Years, narrated by Stern. Then the actor got a leading role in the comedy Friends, Lovers, and Lunatics. In 1990, the dramedy Coupe de Ville was released. It was about three brothers who don't get along. They get together to go home in a car that their father bought for their mother's 50th birthday.
Stop the car, Bobby. Why? I'm doing fine. Stop the car, Bobby. Marvin, look. Stop the goddamn car, Bobby. All right.
The movie got mixed reviews and was a total disaster at the box office. During the first weekend, the motion picture grossed only $66,000 and barely earned $6 million globally. After that, Stern got a small part in the comedy My Blue Heaven, starring Steve Martin and Rick Moranis. He also did a voiceover for a Burger King commercial. Then there was the TV movie The Court Martial of Jackie Robinson. The film depicts the early years of the baseball star and his time in the Army, focusing on the court-martial for insubordination regarding segregation. In his career, the actor brought to life dozens of different characters in a variety of genres: action movies, comedy, thriller, drama, and TV shows. But he got the role of his lifetime in 1990 when he played the wet bandit Marvin in the family comedy Home Alone. It is rightfully considered one of the best Christmas movies of all time. The actor was laughing out loud when he was reading the script sent by the director, Chris Columbus. The actor said yes at once, and soon he and Joe Pesci, who played his partner in crime, got to work.
Marv!
Harry?
Why the hell did you take your shoes off?
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
The difference in the actor's height was another trick that Columbus used to accentuate the comicality of the bandits. Joe is 5'3", so Stern, being 6'4", looked like a giant compared to him. Although the cast was professional, there were times on set when no one was laughing. Stern's arachnophobia, an extreme fear of spiders, was the biggest problem. According to the script, a huge tarantula was put on his face, which left Stern petrified. Still, they got the scene on the first take. The crew added the sound later, so they didn't scare the spider. But the actor denied this in a Facebook post, stating that the sound was recorded during the scene shooting and the scream was an allusion to the movie Psycho. The movie showed great results at the worldwide box office, grossing over $467 million with a budget of $18 million. The comedy was nominated for Oscar and Golden Globe and received a number of prestigious awards. As for the burglars, Harry and Marv were nominated to be included on the list of the 100 heroes and villains according to the American Film Institute. After the success of Home Alone, Stern allegedly made one of his dreams come true and bought a 1956 Cadillac DeVille. Its cost was approximately $50,000.
Well, learn from this, Randy. If you're as determined as Ralphie, maybe one day you'll get one.
In 1991, Daniel narrated an episode of The Simpsons and played the leading role in the comedy City Slickers. The movie tells the story about three friends going through a midlife crisis. They decide to move to the Wild West looking for new thrilling experiences.
Hey, you know, you manage a supermarket, that's when the food arrives. Don't you have an assistant or a kid or something? Arlene's father likes me to do it. No free rides, Philly boy. No free rides.
The cast was offered free horse riding lessons, but Daniel refused to achieve a better comedic effect when his character was riding the horse. The movie got good reviews and received different nominations and awards. With a budget of $27 million, it grossed $179 million worldwide. Meanwhile, the wild success of the hit Christmas comedy about Kevin who was left alone made the studio and Chris Columbus decide to film a sequel. In 1992, the world saw the premiere of Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. It depicts the adventures of Kevin and the burglars from the first part in Christmas, New York.
You bust out of jail to rob 14 cents from a Santa Claus?
Every little bit helps. Besides, now we got our new nickname. We're the Sticky Bandits.
The Wet Bandits are now called the Sticky Bandits, as Marv came up with a new trick. He equipped his gloves with double-sided tape so that stolen things stick to them.
Pardonnez-moi, mon chéri.
Now it's shocking, but unlike viewers, critics had negative feedback on the movie. It was another blockbuster and became another Christmas classic. The actor got $1 million for the role of Marv. Since then, he has been widely known as a comedy actor. In 1993, Daniel made his directorial debut. He released the sports comedy Rookie of the Year. It's a movie about a teenager named Henry who dreams about playing in the top league. One time, he breaks his arm while trying to catch a ball. After the doctor removed the cast, he was surprised to see that the boy's tendons healed in a weird way, making his throws extraordinarily hard. They filmed the movie on the grounds of the real stadium Wrigley Field between matches. Apart from directing the movie, Daniel also played a secondary role.
It's gonna take a lot of sweat. But eventually, I'm gonna mold you into one of the greatest 12-year-olds that ever played this game. Now!
Critics gave the movie 5 out of 10 and were pretty harsh about Stern's directorial work. Nevertheless, the motion picture grossed $56 million with a budget of $14 million. In 1994, City Slickers 2: The Legend of Curly's Gold, the second part of the successful comedy, came out. After that, Daniel starred in another comedy titled Bushwhacked, where he played a delivery boy pretending to be a Boy Scout leader to hide from the police.
You're a lizard, let it drain! Move your hips and spell your name! Send it straight and send it hard! Now a sword fight, go on guard!
I got some bad news for you, Palmer. That ain't rain.
While the young actors in the cast had to do workouts to prepare for swimming and climbing scenes, Daniel deliberately avoided any kind of exercise. He believed that this way he could really show how alien the outdoor life was to his character. A bit later, the comedy Celtic Pride was released. Stern co-starred with Damon Wayans and Dan Aykroyd.
You are sick.
Oh yeah, I know I'm sick. I am sick and tired of you and your therapist taking something pure and twisting it around!
Despite having a great cast, the movie didn't have great success, grossing a bit less than $10 million inside the country and receiving negative feedback. Moreover, some critics claimed the movie to be offensive and offered that the cast fire their agents for dragging them into a project like that. At the beginning of 1997, Daniel worked on the animated TV show Hey Arnold. The actor voiced Mr. Peckenham, the school teacher of the main character. Stern also appeared in an episode of the crime TV show Gun. In 1998, he starred in an episode of The Wonderful World of Disney. After that, there was the criminal comedy Very Bad Things, starring Cameron Diaz and Christian Slater.
A big storm comes, and all the forests are knocked down, and all the rocks have fallen away, and the leaves are bare. What's left? What is left?
The studio execs had high hopes for the project, but it failed at the box office. With a budget of $30 million, it grossed only $21 million. In 1999, our hero was offered to do a voiceover for an animated adult show based on the popular satirical comic strip Dilbert by Scott Adams. The actor gave his voice to the main character, a typical office clerk trying to survive in a big corporation with quirky and annoying colleagues. The TV show ran for 2 seasons with 30 episodes overall. Critics had positive reviews, and the only bone they had to pick with the show was that it ended too soon. In the same year, Stern opened a teen club in Malibu. The community for boys and girls was founded after the Columbine high school shootings. Parents in Malibu realized that a tragedy like that could happen anywhere if teens had no way out. Together with his Home Alone co-star Joe Pesci, he raised money to open a school where kids with any background could get an education before going to college. Starting from the early 2000s, Daniel got way fewer roles. The actor was featured in the comedy How to Kill Your Neighbor's Dog. He appeared in only one scene as a guest at a costume party and wasn't even credited. In 2001, the actor got a leading part in the comedy Viva Las Nowhere and played a single father in the TV series Danny, which he also scripted. The show aired only 9 episodes. There was a time when Stern didn't get any projects in the movie industry. He started doing sculpture in his garage, a hobby he had since he was a schoolboy. In 2003, our hero portrayed Joe Binder in the sitcom Regular Joe. The series aired for only 5 episodes and was well received by critics, but the viewers didn't find it interesting enough, so the project was canceled. The next year, Daniel appeared in the short film The Last Full Measure. In 2006, the comedy Bachelor Party Vegas came out. The movie was shot in 16 days, and Daniel got a bit part in it. He also starred in the rom-com The Last Time.
Look, you can ask anybody, okay? When it comes to my staff, I am a cupcake. I understand how salesmen can fall on hard times. Lord knows, I've been there myself, okay? But I have got to get my troops moving here, or they're gonna hang my...
They were filming in New Orleans right before Hurricane Katrina hit, so the crew had to leave the place. In the meantime, Daniel continued to work at the theater. He wrote the off-Broadway hit Barbara's Wedding, which was produced by the Dodgers Baseball Club and the Manhattan Theater Club. It starred such famous theater figures as John Pankow and Julie White. The production ran for 6 months. Stern was also featured in a production by Gary Marshall Theater. In 2008, the criminal comedy Otis was released. Our hero played the role of a father whose daughter was kidnapped by a maniac. He also starred in the comedy A Previous Engagement, where he portrayed an oblivious husband whose wife is planning a date with the love of her youth.
I'm one of the few people on the planet who's never been ditched. It's too late to get ditched now, right? Got my babe for life here. Well, where's your wedding ring?
In 2009, Stern voiced a Family Guy episode and appeared in the TV series Monk. Stern also got a bit part in the sports drama Whip It. In 2010, the actor had a small appearance in the thriller The Next 3 Days, starring Russell Crowe. The movie received positive reviews from critics and grossed $62 million with a budget of $30 million. Next came out the short film Branches, which the actor narrated. At the same time, Stern starred in the TV comedy Battle of the Bulbs. Daniel got the leading part of Bob Wallace, a family man who goes out of his way every Christmas to decorate the house in the most festive way.
Now, are you ready for some Christmas decorating?
Yes.
Yes, who?
Yes, Santa.
Santa who?
Santa, sir.
That's more like it. Now, where's...
Alongside acting, Daniel does charity and volunteering. His efforts didn't go unnoticed, and in 2010, he received the President's Volunteer Service Award that recognizes the valuable contributions volunteers make in communities. The next year, Stern starred in the short rom-com California Romanza. In 2012, he appeared in the comedy A Christmas Story 2, where he played the old man. It was a DVD release, and the general feedback from critics was negative. In the following year, Stern appeared only in one episode of the TV show Workaholics. In 2014, he was featured in another TV show, the dramedy House of Lies. During that period of time, the actor appeared in 2 episodes of the TV show Getting On. Soon after that, the Home Alone fans were in for a treat, as the creator released an 11-minute video featuring the deleted scenes. From 2014 to 2015, Stern was cast in the history TV series Manhattan about the creators of the atomic bomb. He also directed several episodes.
Silver lining is he doesn't remember what a son of a bitch he used to be.
Well, space-time is curved. Maybe we're all living in the past, huh?
Good to know at least one senior citizen has his faculties intact.
As the years go by, the actor doesn't take on as many acting gigs as he used to when he was younger, but he expanded on his artistic interests. For instance, the actor has reached a new level of his favorite hobby. He created sculptures for art fairs across the U.S. The star is also an artist in residence at Studio Channel Islands Art Center, located in Camarillo, California. Apart from that, our hero worked on lots of orders, created pieces for gallery exhibitions and art fairs. Daniel does bronze sculptures, and his creations are exhibited in art objects around the U.S. For instance, in 2016, he created a sculpture for the city of Monrovia. The bronze figure, called Action, is installed in front of the Krikorian Theater. When asked about his hobby, Daniel confesses that his mind gets completely absorbed by the sculptures he's working on. He doesn't talk to anyone and gets lost in the process. In 2016, Stern appeared in an episode of the TV series Angie Tribeca. A year later, the legendary comedy about the City Slickers got a sequel, the short film City Slickers in Westworld. The 6-minute video depicts the reunion and new adventures of the characters. In the same year, Daniel starred in an episode of the TV series Love. But the most exciting event of 2016 in Daniel's life concerned his oldest son, Henry. Stern Jr. decided to run for California State Senate, and our hero did everything he could to help him with the election campaign. The actor was active on social media, participated in the PR campaign, and encouraged people to vote for Henry. When Stern Jr. won, the famous actor was over the moon, and he later shared that he got teary when the children's choir sang at the swearing ceremony. He wrote on his Instagram, "I have done all I can for my children, and they are children no more." In 2018, the comedy Game Over Man premiered. Fun fact, the characters make references to Home Alone several times. However, the movie got negative reactions and was given 3.6 out of 10. In 2019, our hero presented the fantasy comedy James vs. His Future Self. Daniel plays a scientist who starts a battle with his future self.
Time travel really f***s you up, man. The past and the present both pulling you towards them. It stretches you out a little bit each time. More depending on how far back you go. I mean, this trip did me in, man.
Apart from that, up until 2021, Stern starred in the TV series Shrill. Currently, the comedy Everything's Peachy is in the works. Stern will produce, write, and play the leading role in the movie. Apart from that, the actor appeared in the 4th season of the drama fantasy TV series For All Mankind. Daniel's net worth is estimated at $20 million. He's been married for 40 years and continues to be a good husband and father. One time, Stern dedicated a post on social media to his wife, saying that his life would be empty without her. She's given the man nearly everything that is important to him: home, kids, love, support, and the deepest friendship he could ever imagine. The couple bought a house in Malibu in 1993 for $1.15 million, and they've been living there up until recently.
Where are you?
Malibu.
They're in Malibu.
Malibu?
Inside, there are 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, several living rooms with a fireplace in the main one. The actor's residence has high ceilings with wooden beams and sliding glass doors. In the yard, there are several recreation areas, a neat garden, and a swimming pool. It was a home for the Stern family for many years, until the family decided to sell it for almost $15 million. Now Daniel and his wife allegedly live in Maryland, but they prefer not to share pictures of their new residence with the public. Daniel Stern has made a name for himself as an 80s and 90s comedy icon. A whole generation grew up watching him in family movies. Even though Daniel is a world-renowned actor, he stays true to himself and does things that bring him peace and happiness. But for us, he'll always be Marv, a wet bandit from Home Alone. When was the last time you watched the iconic Christmas comedy? Catherine O'Hara. What happened to Kevin's mom from Home Alone? Catherine Ann O'Hara was born on March 4, 1954 in Toronto, Canada. She grew up in a large Irish Catholic family, which greatly influenced her sense of humor. Her parents had 7 kids. Catherine was the 6th child in the family. One of her sisters, Mary, also fulfilled her creative side and became a singer. Interestingly enough, Catherine has a rare genetic condition called situs inversus, which causes the organs of the chest and abdomen to be reversed or mirrored from their normal positions. The head of the family worked as an office clerk for the Canadian Pacific Railroad. Recalling her childhood, the actress said that her family encouraged her to be funny. Her father told great jokes that he brought home from the office, and her mother did parodies. Catherine would watch and repeat after them, much to the amusement of her relatives. She learned a lot from her mom and dad, and it came in handy in her career. It's no coincidence that the star is grateful to both of her parents for her personal comedic style. O'Hara also shared that her mom taught her to be grateful for her health and each new day. This had a profound impact on the actress, who described herself as a good Catholic girl at heart. She believes in prayer and is convinced that God is watching over her. The idea that she is only human and one of God's creations helps Catherine not to take small things too seriously. Catherine attended an adult learning center, Burnham Thorpe Collegiate Institute, where her classmate was her future colleague, comedian Robin Duke. At the time, the girls were performing together in a student production called Harvey. During high school, Catherine didn't have any steady relationship. According to The Entertainer, the reason for this was that she was too busy hanging out and fooling around with her beautiful female friends. And although she liked to impersonate and parody people in her youth, she never dreamed of being an actor. However, when the opportunity to perform on the theater stage presented itself, she took it. After graduation, O'Hara worked in Toronto for a year as a waitress at the Second City Theater and eventually became Gilda Radner's understudy. When Radner left the group in 1974, Catherine joined the main cast. Since then, her life has been completely centered on her new comedy improv troupe, which included such future legends as Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Andrea Martin, and Eugene Levy. According to Catherine, it was an exciting time of creativity. She was very inspired by the teamwork of creating their own material, and the show itself gave them the freedom to improvise and work out their unique yet realistic characters. The actress first appeared on television in the mid-70s in a small sketch role on Wayne & Schuster, and then in an episode of the Wayne & Schuster Super Special Project. From 1976 to 1977, she starred in a children's sitcom called Coming Up Rosie, which aired on CBS. During the same period, Catherine appeared in several TV movies and began starring in the Canadian comedy sketch show SCTV. She worked in it until 1979, not only as an actress, but also as a screenwriter for 51 episodes. However, she wasn't paid for her scripts of the first season, and even afterward, her fee was lower than that of her male colleagues. She also styled her own hair and helped other comedians with hairstyling. In 1978, the girl appeared in another episode of the show Wayne & Schuster, and her voice was heard in the animated Halloween TV movie Witches' Night Out. The following year, O'Hara took part in a voiceover for a television special, this time dedicated to Thanksgiving. In 1980, the Canadian native left SCTV to work on the renewed Saturday Night Live show. However, she left the project after a week without appearing in a single episode and soon returned to SCTV. Meanwhile, Catherine starred in the rom-com Nothing Personal, the mystery thriller Double Negative, the miniseries You've Come a Long Way, Katie, and voiced the animated project Easter Fever. She was soon noticed by American filmmakers, but it was her work at SCTV that brought her fame in Canada. The show gradually gained popularity nationwide and then worldwide. After trying to join the Saturday Night Live show, O'Hara returned to SCTV just as it was picked up in the US by the NBC television network, after which the name changed to SCTV Network 90. In the updated version of the show, Catherine kept working not only as a lead actress, but also as a screenwriter, which brought her 1 Emmy Award and 4 nominations for Outstanding Writing for a Variety Special. In 1982, she left the project again before its 5th season, but would still return to make occasional guest appearances until the show's finale in 1984. A year earlier, she voiced the adult animated musical film Rock and Roll. In the mid-80s, O'Hara's filmography expanded with the musical comedy The Last Polka and cult director Martin Scorsese's dark comedy film After Hours.
And I have my own Mr. Softy truck. It's not boring. Also, you need a Class 4 New York State chauffeur's license. Guess who has one? Got it on my own.
She also made a guest appearance on an episode of the George Burns comedy Week Show. In 1986, the actress appeared in the comedy drama Heartburn, co-starring with such celebrities as Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson, and in the TV movie Dave Thomas, The Incredible Time Travels of Henry Osgood, portraying Marie Antoinette. Catherine then starred in a TV movie based on her own script, Really Weird Tales, and in an episode of the comedy series Trying Times. The year 1988 brought the actress her first major professional success. She joined the cast of Tim Burton's film Beetlejuice, which later became a cult classic.
I'm here with you. I will live with you in this hellhole, but I must express myself. If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
As luck would have it, she met her future husband, American producer and director Bo Welch, who at the time was working as a production designer on the set of Beetlejuice. The couple struck up a relationship, and soon, to be closer to her partner, Catherine moved to Los Angeles. By the way, once vacationing with her boyfriend on a Mexican beach, the girl almost drowned. As she admitted in an interview, she's been terrified of oceans ever since. That same year, she voiced Miss Malone, a character in the animated series The Completely Mental Misadventures of Ed Grimley, played one of the supporting roles in the television comedy I, Martin Short, Goes Hollywood, and co-wrote the screenplay for the special Andrea Martin, Together Again, a spin-off of the SCTV show, appearing in it as an actress. 1990 was an extremely fruitful and successful year for O'Hara. So, she appeared in the crime comedy film Dick Tracy, starred in the rom-com Betsy's Wedding, and played the lead role in the romantic film Little Vegas. Besides, the actress was featured in an episode of Dave Thomas's comedy sketch show and made her first appearance in a new role as a director, making one of the episodes of a sitcom called Dream On. She also appeared as an actress in one episode of this project. Meanwhile, director Chris Columbus invited Catherine to play the mother of the main character in the movie Home Alone. She was overjoyed that she got the role without trying out because she hates auditions. Although her character was not at the center of the story, it was memorable to the audience and made the actress famous.
Somebody pick up.
Oh, hi, ma'am. It's you again.
Yeah, hi, look. I'm calling from Paris. I have a son who's home alone, and
Okay. We'll send a policeman over to your house to check on your son.
Home Alone grossed over $470 million at the worldwide box office, but it is unknown what O'Hara's fee was. But in an interview, she recounted that it was the largest amount she had ever been offered. Then, Catherine's creative biography was expanded with an episode of the comedy series Morton and Hayes, and her voice appeared in the animated Irish fairy tale Rabbit Ears Finn McCool. In it, Catherine acted as the narrator. In 1992, a significant happy event happened in her personal life. She married her boyfriend, Bo Welch. As for the professional field, at that time, she became a guest on one of the episodes of the popular sitcom The Larry Sanders Show, played the lead role in the movie There Goes the Neighborhood, and again played Kevin's mom in the comedy Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Yeah, Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
What?
The following year, Catherine starred in an episode of the Canadian horror series The Hidden Room and participated in the voicing of the stop-motion animated musical The Nightmare Before Christmas. 1994 brought her work with Michael Keaton in the drama The Paper, filming with Kevin Costner in the biographical western Wyatt Earp, and with Steve Martin in the melodrama A Simple Twist of Fate.
Nice coin, huh? Yeah, I wasn't kidding about the grade. Well, I think you should get it. What do you think of this? It's not going to be around here long. Once the weather balloon people get wind of this, they're going to be down here ripping it off the ceiling.
She also appeared in an episode of the American anthology series Tales from the Crypt. That same year blessed her and her husband with the birth of their first son, Matthew. In the mid-90s, O'Hara played Calamity Jane in the adventure family film Tall Tale and won an Earl Grey Award for her achievements on Canadian television. In 1996, she was lucky enough to be part of the cast of the iconic pseudo-documentary Waiting for Guffman. By the way, in December 2022, Variety magazine included this movie in its list of the 100 greatest movies of all time, stating that it's a comedy as touching as it is hilarious. Catherine then starred in the comedy drama The Last of the High Kings.
What do you think? You think your shirts and trousers get washed by magic and march down the path and throw themselves up on the line? Do you?
And 1997 brought the actress a role in an episode of the science fiction series The Outer Limits and directing work in one of the episodes of this project, which was released in 1998. She also voiced a cartoon character in Pippi Longstocking and appeared in the television drama Hope. She also had a baby son, Luke. The next movie where O'Hara co-starred with Drew Barrymore and Luke Wilson was the dark comedy Home Prize.
They're not yours.
No, ma'am. No.
No, they belong to your rotten stepfather. Not for my benefit, obviously. I never felt any rainbows.
Oh, now, Mom, you don't need to.
In 1999, the actress worked in several projects. She starred in an episode of the comedy TV series Oh Baby, Stephen Brill's comedy Late Last Night, and the drama The Life Before This, where she played the lead role. She also voiced the villain Ludmila from the animated film Bartok the Magnificent, aka the spin-off of Anastasia. In 2000, the star of Home Alone appeared in an episode of the sketch show Mad TV, played a leading role in the mockumentary comedy Bastin Show, and voiced the short cartoon Edward Budwupper Fibbed Big. The following year, she starred in the comedy film Speaking of Sex and voiced Liz Larson for 12 episodes in the animated sitcom Committed, based on Michael Fry's comic book of the same name. In 2002, O'Hara appeared in the teen comedy drama Orange County and an episode of the television series Bram and Alice, and voiced a character in one episode of the animated series Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist. She then guest starred in the mockumentary musical comedies The Ruddles 2, Can't Buy Me Lunch, and A Mighty Wind. For her role in the latter, the actress learned to play the autoharp. The movie A Mighty Wind brought Catherine and her colleague Eugene Levy to the 2004 Academy Awards, where they performed the nominated song A Kiss at the End of the Rainbow.
There's a kiss at the end of the rainbow.
She was also featured in 3 episodes of 6 Feet Under and did a voiceover for an episode of the Canadian adult animated sitcom Odd Job Jack. In 2004, Catherine took part in the filming of television drama The Wool Cap, a remake of the 1962 film, and the comedy Surviving Christmas.
I'm busy! I told you. We shouldn't have put the computer up in his room. He's going to spend all his time there.
Tommy, welcome to the future, dear. He's advancing his skills. One day that computer's going to get our baby a good job.
Also, along with her star colleagues Jim Carrey, Meryl Streep, Jude Law, and others, played in the family adventure film Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Look at you, Violet. You look so beautiful. You're the bride. I'm the judge. Who's the groom?
In 2005, O'Hara appeared in another episode of the television series 6 Feet Under, as well as Michael Hoffman's comedy drama Game 6 and the animated film Chicken Little, in which she voiced the alien Tina. The following year, the actress expanded her work as a voice actress. Her voice can be heard in such animated films as Over the Hedge, Monster House, Brother Bear 2, and Barbie in the 12 Dancing Princesses. In addition, Catherine starred in the comedy For Your Consideration and the fantasy film Penelope.
Why can't I have bacon?
because you love oatmeal. Doesn't Daddy love oatmeal? Yeah.
No, I love bacon.
At that time, her name appeared on Canada's Walk of Fame for her achievements in the arts and entertainment industry. In 2008, the comedy TV movie Good Behavior was released, and in the next 2 years, O'Hara starred in Sam Mendes' drama Away We Go, comedy action film Killers, and biographical drama Temple Grandin, for her role in which she was nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award and an Emmy.
What do you look like when you're happy?
Like this.
No, that's not what you look like when you were telling me about the man from Uncle. You look like this.
She also appeared in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, voiced the character Judith for the children's movie Where the Wild Things Are, and was part of the voice acting team for the animated sitcom Glenn Martin DDS. For 3 years, she was bringing the main character, Jackie Martin, to life with her voice. In 2011 and 2012, Catherine did a voiceover for the animated films A Monster in Paris and Frankenweenie. She also starred in the miniseries Leslie and in an episode of the comedy series 30 Rock. In 2013, the actress appeared in such films as ACOD, The Right Kind of Wrong, as well as an episode of the mockumentary series The Greatest Event in Television History. Then, O'Hara participated in the English voiceover of the Japanese animated film When Marnie Was There, and in 2015 played a major role in the fantasy miniseries What Lives Inside and appeared as a guest star in an episode of the comedy series Modern Family. At the same time, she managed to restart her career by starring in the popular Canadian sitcom Schitt's Creek, which aired for the next 5 years. In addition to playing one of the lead roles, O'Hara also served as a consulting producer on 67 episodes of the project. She also came up with an unusual European accent, and her obsession with wigs for her eccentric character Moira Rose, a former soap opera star.
Kidnapped, there's no ransom, no one's coming to save me!
We've got 15 minutes to collect our personals. Can we pick up the pace?
No, did you put Christy with Robin? They don't like each other! No!
The point is that Catherine gets bored playing one character really fast, and she even hesitated whether to agree to work in the series. But since she was given complete freedom to experiment with the character's appearance, she agreed. With more than 1 million viewers watching the first season, Schitt's Creek became the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation's most watched online comedy series, and O'Hara's role in it earned her 5 Canadian Screen Awards. It should also be noted that this is the first comedy or drama to win all acting awards in its genre at the Emmy Awards. Remarkably, no series has ever before won all the awards for acting, screenplay, and directing. Schitt's Creek also set a new record for the most Emmy wins for a comedy series in a single season, surpassing the marvelous Miss Maisel. It is also interesting that it turned out to be a family project. It was created by Dan Levy, son of Eugene Levy, Catherine's longtime colleague and a good friend who, by the way, tried to start a relationship with him at the beginning of her career. They went on a date a few times, but the thing didn't go further than a kiss, and there was no lasting relationship. But according to the actress, it's a good thing because instead, they developed a wonderful friendship since then. Catherine speaks of her colleague as a fine gentleman, a great writer and actor. Catherine's sons, who, like their parents, work in the movie industry building sets, also contributed to the successful sitcom. That was the work Matthew and Luke did for the project. Schitt's Creek is an extremely important work for both O'Hara and her colleagues. She cried not only during the filming of the final season, but also when she watched the final episodes. Interestingly enough, before the end of the show, the cast started taking away various props as souvenirs. Catherine took a few extravagant items from Moira's closet, and of course, a couple of wigs. In 2016, she did voice work on episodes of the animated series Sophia the First and Harvey Beaks. In addition, Cassandra from the Skylanders Academy animated series spoke in her voice. O'Hara voiced this character for 26 episodes over the course of 2 years. From 2017 to 2018, she starred in the TV show A Series of Unfortunate Events, playing Dr. Orwell in 4 episodes. After that, she went on to do voiceover work. Her voice was heard in one of the episodes of the animated web series The Magic School Bus Rides Again, in the animated films The Addams Family, Extinct, and in 12 episodes of the animated streaming service series The Last Kids on Earth. In 2020, Catherine O'Hara won her first Emmy Award for acting for her role as Moira Rose in Schitt's Creek. She also later won a Golden Globe, Canada's ACTRA Awards, and the U.S. Screen Critics Association Award and the Screen Actors Guild Award. In addition, she was awarded an honorary Canadian Governor General's Award for outstanding creative achievement in the performing arts. That same year, the star competed on the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and won $250,000 for Upward Bound House, a Los Angeles-based charity that helps the homeless. And the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics honored her with the Dorian Award as Timeless Star, celebrating her as a distinctive, witty, and wise entertainer. Also, in tribute to producer John Hughes, Catherine recreated the iconic scream scene from Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, where Kate McAllister looks into the camera and yells, "Kevin!" which shook up the internet almost 3 decades after the movie was released. On the actress's TikTok fan account, the video quickly racked up about 3.5 million views and went viral. By the way, when O'Hara once met grown-up Macaulay Culkin, she greeted him with the exclamation, "Baby," and Culkin called her mom and rushed into her arms. In the fall, Catherine and her Schitt's Creek series colleague Annie Murphy starred in the holiday ad campaign A Call to Joy, encouraging Canadians to travel to Hudson's Bay for the holidays. The colleagues also starred in another video in which Annie, in her role as gift guru, gives Catherine some advice on what to get her loved ones from her shopping list. The Schitt's Creek and Home Alone star was appointed honorary mayor of Brentwood in 2021 and starred alongside comedian Kevin Hart in a Christmas commercial for the Chase Freedom Unlimited credit card company. In 2022, O'Hara appeared in a Nissan commercial that also featured other celebrities like Dave Bautista, Brie Larson, and Eugene Levy. She also appeared in an episode of the Canadian series The Kids in the Hall, voiced an episode of the animated project Central Park, and was featured in an episode of the musical puppet television series Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock, a reboot of the original 1983 series. On March 26th, Catherine O'Hara joined other stars in an 11-hour live marathon as part of the online talk show Stars in the House, which raised nearly $140,000 for Ukrainians who have been affected by Russian aggression. By the way, Catherine is known for her generous and good-hearted nature, so she regularly participates in various charity projects. For example, the star is a well-known supporter of the Canadian Cancer Society. In 2023, at the closing of the Cannes Film Festival, O'Hara presented the computer-animated film Elemental, where she voiced Brooke Ripple. In September, the drama Pain Hustlers premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. In it, the actress played Jackie Drake.
It's an app. And it's going to have a gizmo thing where you take a picture of your face and you upload it.
Analyzes your skin type and it curates a regimen of mom's products. It's pretty cool.
The fantasy movie Beetlejuice 2 is scheduled for release in September 2024. In the sequel, Catherine will return to her role as Delia Dietz. The movie will also star Jenna Ortega, Monica Bellucci, Willem Dafoe, Justin Theroux, and others. Matthew Vaughn's spy comedy Argylle is in post-production and is scheduled to premiere on February 2nd, 2024, after which it will be released on the Apple TV Plus service. Apart from Catherine, we will see Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, Dua Lipa, Bryce Dallas Howard, Samuel L. Jackson, and other stars on screen. Catherine doesn't have an Instagram account, but there are fan pages of the actress there, which are occasionally updated with her photos. It's mostly stills from movies she starred in. As we mentioned earlier, the celebrity has collaborated with a variety of brands. Back in her SCTV days, she starred in a commercial for Eckerd Drugs, an American drugstore chain. In the 1979 commercial, Catherine suffers from a runny nose, which is supposed to be relieved by Dristan. She also advertised Permalac hairspray. O'Hara holds dual citizenship of Canada and the United States, and her fortune is estimated at $10 million. In 1994, Catherine and her husband, Beau, paid $1,250,000 for a house in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. It measures 2,600 square feet, and its yard has a lush garden with lemons and an outdoor pool. The property is hidden from prying eyes by a hedge. In a career spanning more than 40 years, Catherine O'Hara has become an iconic figure in the entertainment industry, known for her impeccable comedic approach and ability to bring memorable characters to life. From her early days on the comedy sketch show SCTV to her critically acclaimed roles in films such as Beetlejuice and Home Alone, she has established her status as an iconic actress. Which movie do you associate her name with? Let us know in the comments.
Housekeeping.
Hold it right there.
This is the concierge, sir.
I knew it was you. I could smell you getting off the elevator.
Tim Curry. Where is the concierge from Home Alone 2 now? Timothy James Curry was born on April 19, 1946 in the suburb of Warrington, Cheshire, United Kingdom. Tim's father, James Curry, was a chaplain in the Royal Navy, and his mother, Patricia, was a school secretary. Tim also has an older sister, Judith, who has become a concert pianist. The Curry lineage included English, Irish, and Scottish roots. Tim spent most of his childhood in the port city of Plymouth, Devon, although the family often moved due to his father's job. When Tim was 12 years old, James Curry passed away from pneumonia, and the mother decided to move to South London with the children. There, Tim attended a boarding school and later went to Kingswood School in Bath, Somerset. As a child, Tim displayed excellent vocal talent, possessing a high soprano voice and often performing at church and school events. However, as time passed, young Tim decided to focus on studying acting. He initially attended Cambridge University and later transferred to the University of Birmingham, where he graduated with a degree in English language and drama in 1968. Immediately after completing his studies, despite his lack of experience, Curry landed a role in the London production of the controversial rock musical Hair, which became iconic for the hippie movement. The show was a massive success and ran for 1,997 performances. During the same period, the actor also appeared in other plays, including Shakespeare's tragedy Titus Andronicus and the plays The Elephant Calf, Life of Galileo, and Man Equals Man, based on Brecht's play. Interestingly, while working on the play Hair, Tim met Richard O'Brien, who became the author of Curry's next iconic role, Dr. Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Show, staged in 1973. O'Brien began working on the script just to pass the time, not expecting any significant outcome. Curry mentioned that initially he rehearsed with a German and American accent and lightened his hair with hydrogen peroxide. One day, he noticed how one Englishwoman spoke and realized that his character should sound like a queen. Thanks to the vivid image of the devilishly mad scientist and transvestite, Curry became rather famous in theatrical circles. During the same time, Tim took on minor roles in TV series and television movies, such as the children's fantasy movie Ace of Wands, theatrical anthologies Saturday Night Theater, Scene 2, Armchair Theater, and Play for Today, as well as the historical miniseries Napoleon and Love. In addition to his television and theatrical activities, the actor continued to play Frankenfurter until 1975, after which he transferred his character to the big screen. In August 1975, the comedy horror musical The Rocky Horror Picture Show was released. Initially, the film flopped at the box office, but soon the creators decided to introduce midnight screenings, leading to a rapid growth of the film's fan base. Moreover, people started attending the screenings in costumes of their favorite characters, replicating their manners and staging various performances.
You are fortunate, for tonight is the night that my beautiful creature is destined to be born!
Once, Curry was ejected from a New York screening. He saw the fans attending the midnight shows dressed as characters and decided to visit the theater, delighting the audience. However, despite the public's enthusiasm, one of the ushers kicked him out, labeling him an imposter. Curry showed him his passport, but refused to return to the hall after the staff apologized. Gradually, the film gained cult status and grossed over $220 million at the box office with a budget of $1.4 million. In 1980, the film was inducted into the Saturn Awards Hall of Fame, and in 2015, it was added to the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. By the way, among the famous fans of the film was Princess Diana, who, upon meeting Curry, told him that Rocky Horror completed her education. Interestingly, the director, Jim Sharman, agreed to a lower budget and a tighter shooting schedule to retain the original cast, with the exceptions being Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick. Later, Sharman noted that this decision significantly contributed to the cult status of the musical. In 1975, Curry also played one of the main roles in the TV drama 3 Men in a Boat, based on Jerome Klapka Jerome's story, and until 1976, he performed in the play Travesties by Tom Stoppard. In 1978, Tim portrayed William Shakespeare in the eponymous miniseries and participated in TV theatrical productions. He also starred in the horror film The Shout, which received the Grand Prix from the jury at the Cannes Film Festival.
To introduce you to Robert.
How do you do?
How do you do? He's your opposite number for this afternoon. Will you see that he's got a pencil and whatnot?
Yes.
Good luck.
In addition, Curry released his debut musical album, Read My Lips, which featured an eclectic mix of cover versions of songs in different genres.
Don't be contrite. Let's take flight. I might not feel.
In 1979, Tim presented his second and most successful album, Fearless. The new songs were mostly original and more similar to rock compared to the first release. The album also included the only song by Curry that entered the Billboard Hot 100 chart, I Do the Rock. In the same year, a music video for another song from the album, Paradise Garage, was released. From 1978 to 1980, Curry toured North America and some European countries with his band, simultaneously appearing in television plays. In 1981, his third and final musical album, Simplicity, was released, which included both original songs and cover versions. While not achieving the high sales of previous albums, it became the only one to enter Canadian charts.
Now be free on the day you say you need me.
During the same period, the actor appeared in American musical films Times Square and Annie, the British drama The Ploughman's Lunch, and also starred in the TV drama Oliver Twist. In 1985, the fantasy adventure film Legend by Ridley Scott was released, where our hero worked with Tom Cruise and portrayed darkness. The director was impressed by Curry's work in the Rocky Horror Picture Show and invited him to join the project. It took Tim about 5.5 hours to apply the required makeup for the role, and at the end of the shooting day, he had to spend a whole hour removing it in the bath. By the way, the film was nominated for numerous awards, including the Oscar, BAFTA, and Saturn Awards for Best Makeup and Costume Design.
My dream is of eternity with you. I offer you this rose, princess.
Also in 1985, Curry played a role in the detective black comedy Clue, based on the board game of the same name. The actor once admitted that the role of the butler Wadsworth was his favorite.
Is this the right address to meet Mr. Body?
Oh, you must be Mr. Green.
Yeah.
Sit! No, not you, sir.
Interestingly, both films initially flopped at the box office and received lukewarm reviews from critics. However, over time, they gained cult classic status. Curry continued to work on television, and during that period, he could be seen in the comedy Blue Money, the children's fantasy movie The Worst Witch, and the series Arena and Wise Guy. Next, the American comedy Pass the Ammo was released, where Curry played a preacher who became a millionaire.
I can feel his hot breath at my neck. I can feel the ground sinking behind me.
Moreover, on the film set, the actor met Annie Potts, with whom he began a relationship that lasted about 2 years. The actors, however, never confirmed their romance. Tim never publicly discussed his personal life, except in one interview where he admitted that he almost got married once. Many believed he was referring to Annie Potts. In 1989, the compilation album The Best of Tim Curry was released on cassette tapes and CDs, featuring his best songs, including live versions. During that time, our hero could be seen in the sketch show The Tracy Ullman Show and the series Wise Guy, and one could hear his voice in several animated series. Our hero did not stop working in the theater. In the 80s, he played leading roles in productions like Amadeus by Peter Shaffer, for which he was first nominated for a Tony Award, and the Three-Penny Opera by Bertolt Brecht. He also played in The Pirates of Penzance, Love for Love, and Me and My Girl. In 1990, alongside Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, and Sam Neill, Tim starred in the spy thriller The Hunt for Red October, which was highly praised by both critics and the audience.
The reason for having two missile keys is so that no one man may what? May arm the missiles.
Curry also played the dancing clown Pennywise in the TV horror film It, based on Stephen King's novel. Initially, Tim was reluctant to take on this role, fearing the lengthy makeup process after working on Legend. However, he was assured that it would be much faster, so he agreed. By the way, initially, it was planned that Tim would play all incarnations of Pennywise, but soon the creators abandoned this idea due to difficulties with changing the makeup.
Don't you want a balloon? What's the matter? One balloon, not enough. Fire!
Interestingly, ABC allocated a record budget of $12 million for the production of the film. This amount was twice the usual budget for TV movies in 1990. Apart from Curry, Alice Cooper, Roddy McDowall, and Malcolm McDowell also aspired to play Pennywise, but director Tommy Lee Wallace saw Tim as the only suitable candidate. According to Curry, his character was so frightening that most actors on the set avoided him. Moreover, Tim had suffered from coulrophobia, the fear of clowns, for most of his life. So, his contract stipulated that there should be no mirrors in his line of sight on the set. Interestingly, despite the film seeming somewhat outdated, it remains a cult classic due to Tim's brilliant performance. When the filming of a new adaptation of It began in 2009, producers even offered him to reprise the role of Pennywise, but the actor declined, and Bill Skarsgård was cast instead. By the way, our hero appreciated the young actor's performance, calling him an excellent choice for the role. In the 90s, Curry played the role of the prosecutor in Roger Waters' concert production of The Wall in Berlin. In 1991, the actor had a small role in the comedy Oscar, working alongside stars such as Sylvester Stallone, Marissa Tomei, and Ornella Muti. He also participated in the stage production of Love Letters by Albert Gurney. In the same year, Curry won a Daytime Emmy Award for voicing Captain Hook in the animated series Peter Pan and the Pirates. Of course, it wasn't the only project featuring Tim's voice. For example, he voiced Tom and Jerry, Batman, Paddington Bear, and many others. In 1992, the black comedy Passed Away and Chris Columbus's Christmas family comedy Home Alone 2: Lost in New York with Macaulay Culkin were released. In the latter, Curry played the role of the concierge, Mr. Hector. The second film in the Home Alone franchise grossed $359 million at the box office with a budget of $28 million, becoming one of the highest-grossing films of the year.
I'm going out to look for him.
What? With all due respect, madam, your son is lost in one of the biggest cities in the world.
Could you stay out of this, please?
As you wish.
Thank you.
In the same year, Curry voiced Hexus in the animated film Ferngully: The Last Rainforest. In 1993, the actor appeared in the parody action comedy Loaded Weapon 1 and played Cardinal Richelieu in the adventure film The Three Musketeers, based on Alexander Dumas's novel. Tim also starred in episodes of the sitcom Roseanne and the horror anthology series Tales from the Crypt, for which he was also nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series.
Do you love me?
Of course I love you. I ain't gonna let my daddy hurt you if that's what you're worried about. I want to marry you.
During that time, the actor also played in the musical My Favorite Year, based on Joseph Doherty's book, and earned another Tony nomination. In 1994, Curry starred in several episodes of the science fiction TV series Earth 2 and played a small role in the superhero thriller The Shadow, working with Ian McKellen, whom Tim greatly respects.
War Department pay all the bills. Because you talked me into it. I just wanted enough money to finish.
Dr. Lane, you don't think big.
If you'd only listened to me, the world could be our oyster.
Afterward, the actor appeared in the sitcom The Naked Truth, the romantic comedy Lover's Knot, and the adventure film Congo, which performed well at the box office but was panned by critics. The film received 7 nominations for the Golden Raspberry Award, including 1 for Curry for Worst Supporting Actor.
We have a trumping card that they did not have.
We do.
We do. That gorilla knows where it is.
What? The gorilla.
He also worked on the computer game Frankenstein Through the Eyes of the Monster, where he portrayed Dr. Victor Frankenstein and voiced the evil penguin Drake in the animated film The Pebble and the Penguin. In 1996, Tim played the lead role in the family musical Muppet Treasure Island, which became one of his favorites. He also voiced his character in the video game adaptation. Moreover, he starred in the dramatic miniseries Titanic. The following year, the actor appeared in the science fiction TV series Lex and the sitcom Over the Top, where he also worked as the producer. There, he met Annie Potts, sparking rumors of their reunion. However, at that time, the actress was married, and the lack of news about Curry's relationships fueled speculation about his sexual orientation, although he did not comment on the topic. Tim also played in the action comedy McHale's Navy, which, however, was unsuccessful with both the audience and critics.
I hope you will not be so loose-lipped if someone should ask about me.
But I wouldn't say anything. Besides, I don't know anything about you, except that you're the second best terrorist in the world.
And the children's science fiction TV movie Doom Runners. Additionally, Curry voiced characters in animated musical films, lending his voice to Maestro Forte in Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, and the miserly Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. In 1998, Curry portrayed Gomez Addams in the black comedy Addams Family Reunion. Although the film was poorly received by critics, Tim's performance garnered high praise.
Aren't you excited about seeing your long-lost relatives?
I would rather douse myself with kerosene and light a match.
That's the spirit.
Afterward, the actor appeared in the sitcom Rude Awakening and the mockumentary musical comedy Jackie's Back. He also starred in the family adventure film Pirates of the Plane. Also, our hero voiced characters in animated films, the Rugrats movie, The Easter Story Keepers, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, and Bartok the Magnificent. In the 90s, Tim continued to voice various animated series, including Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, The Pirates of Dark Water, Batman, The Little Mermaid, and Aladdin. In 2000, Curry played a cameo role in the sitcom Betty. Additionally, he starred in the crime thriller Four Dogs Playing Poker, the thriller Sorted, and the action comedy spy film Charlie's Angels, which received good reviews from critics and became one of the highest-grossing films of the year.
Blowfish? Isn't that poisonous? It's a rare delicacy for the man who has no fear of an excruciating death.
In 2001, the actor appeared in the historical miniseries Attila with Gerard Butler in the lead role, the horror film Wolf Girl, and the horror parody Scary Movie 2.
These cameras all throughout the house.
Yes, sir, I thought that would be best.
So, if one of our little chickadees were to be taking a shower, which button would I press to get a close-up?
That one.
This one.
In the same year, Tim reprised his role as Scrooge in the musical A Christmas Carol, based on Charles Dickens' story. Then, Curry played the lead role in the comedy TV series Family Affair and had minor roles in the horror film Ritual and the romantic drama The Scoundrel's Wife. Moreover, during that period, one could hear Tim's voice in the animated films Rugrats in Paris and Rugrats Go Wild, as well as Barbie in the Nutcracker, The Wild Thornberrys movie, and Lion of Oz. In 2004, our hero appeared in the biographical drama film Kinsey with Liam Neeson playing the lead role. The film was highly praised by critics and received numerous prestigious award nominations, including the Oscar and the Golden Globe.
Not only is your class irrelevant, it's irresponsible. There's a VD epidemic sweeping this country, Thurman.
And that's my fault? I don't know whether to be insulted or flattered. Besides, there's a cure for syphilis, and it's called abstinence.
Curry also appeared in episodes of the detective series Monk and the sitcom Will and Grace. Soon after, Tim starred in the family comedy Bailey's Billions and worked on the adventure animated film Valiant, where he voiced the main antagonist, General Von Talon. Despite its short length of only 76 minutes, the voiceover took more than 2 years. During that period, the actor played King Arthur in the musical Spamalot, for which he received nominations for the Tony Award and the Laurence Olivier Award. Additionally, in 2005, there were rumors that Tim had a romance with his assistant, Marcia Hurwitz. In 2006, Curry played a small role in the comedy Christmas in Wonderland and appeared in the comedy detective TV series Psych. He also did voiceovers for the animated films Mucha Lucha, The Return of El Malefico, Queer Duck, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, and The Chosen One. Then, the actor appeared in the detective series Agatha Christie's Poirot, specifically in the episode based on the book Appointment with Death. He also worked on the adventure fantasy film The Secret of Moonacre and The Color of Magic, the adaptation of Terry Pratchett's books. Additionally, he voiced the animated films Fly Me to the Moon and Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King. Also, Curry portrayed the Soviet premier Anatoly Cherdenko in the real-time strategy video game Command & Conquer Red Alert 3, released in 2008. In 2008, it was rumored that Curry was dating model Marina Druchko. In 2009, Tim appeared in the family miniseries Alice in the dramatic TV series Cranford. In 2010, he starred in the black comedy Burke and Hare and played a minor role in the crime drama TV series Criminal Minds. Also in 2010, the album From the Vaults was released, which had been recorded in 1976 but left unpublished for unknown reasons. During the same period, Curry's voice was featured in the animated films Barbie and the Three Musketeers, Curious George 2, Follow That Monkey, and Sammy's Adventures, The Secret Passage. He also did voiceovers for the animated series Phineas and Ferb, Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Regular Show, and Young Justice. In the same year, Curry received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Actors Fund Tony Awards viewing party for his outstanding contribution to the acting industry. In 2011, Tim could be seen in the play Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, based on Tom Stoppard's absurdist tragicomedy. In April 2012, he performed in the musical comedy What About Dick? However, shortly thereafter, Curry had to pause his work on new projects. In July 2012, he suffered a severe stroke at his home in Los Angeles, leaving him in a wheelchair since then. Fortunately, his speech quickly recovered, allowing him to continue working as a voice actor. According to Tim, the stroke has significantly changed his life, and his sense of humor helps him fight negative thoughts. After 2012, Curry contributed to the animated films Back to the Sea and Randy Cunningham, Ninth Grade Ninja, as well as Saving Santa, Ribbit, and Over the Garden Wall. In 2016, the actor appeared in the remake of The Rocky Horror Picture Show, acting as the narrator. In October 2020, he reprised his role as Dr. Frankenfurter in a virtual reading of the play to support the Democratic Party in Wisconsin for fundraising in Joe Biden's presidential campaign. Despite his limited mobility, Curry continues to perform as a singer and participates in various events, meeting his fans. Apart from his work on television, cinema, and theater, Curry voiced various video games and was an audiobook narrator. For instance, in 2001, he was nominated for a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album for Children for reading The Bad Beginning by Daniel Handler, also known as Lemony Snicket. Additionally, Curry participated in recording soundtracks for theatrical productions. It is known that the actor's net worth is around $12 million, and at various periods, he owned elite houses in Los Angeles. For instance, in the 90s, or according to other sources, in the 2000s, Curry lived in the prestigious Los Feliz neighborhood. The house, designed in 1922, was one of the first built in the area. The mansion covered around 4,000 square feet and featured 3 bedrooms and bathrooms, living rooms, and terraces, all in the style of Spanish colonial revival from the 1920s and 30s. To create a cozy atmosphere, the actor consulted with designers on textiles and color schemes, furnishing the house with numerous English antiques and adorning the walls with antique paintings. Interestingly, in 2011, the property was acquired by Robert Pattinson. It was reported that Tim paid $3.3 million for the property, while Pattinson acquired it for $6.3 million. In 2005, actress Christina Ricci bought Curry's small but cozy house for $1.6 million. It had 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and was also located in Los Feliz. In 2006, the actor bought a villa in the same area from David Hyde Pierce for $2 million. Tim owned it until April 2014 and sold it for $3.2 million. Currently, Curry resides in Los Angeles in the Toluca Lake area. He often participates in various shows and documentaries without leaving his home. Curry is also a fan of Mercedes-Benz. He has been spotted multiple times near cars of this elite brand. Throughout his career, the actor appeared in commercials for famous brands. For example, in 1993, he was featured in a Guinness Original Beer advertisement. In 1998, he appeared in a Japanese Xerox commercial, and in 2006, he voiced a commercial for Smirnoff Vodka. As for his musical preferences, the actor mentioned jazz vocalists like Billie Holiday and Louis Armstrong. In his teenage years, he was a fan of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Curry is also a fan of the Scooby-Doo franchise, and one of his favorite horror films is Don't Look Now from 1973. From childhood, Curry had a very close relationship with his older sister, Judith, who unfortunately passed away from brain cancer in 2001. Since the mid-70s, the actor had been close friends with Freddie Mercury, who was also a fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Moreover, Curry has always been interested in gardening and once designed Mercury's garden. It is also known that Tim was in touch with singer Carly Simon and even worked as a backing vocalist on her 1979 album, Spy. Back in his childhood, Curry acquired the nickname Cheshire Cat. According to one version, he got it because of his birthplace, but his fans associate the nickname with the distinctive toothy grin of the actor. Which Tim Curry's role do you like the most?
I am a winner. I set my mind to do something, and I do it.
Rob Schneider, what became of the 2000s comedy star? Robert Michael Schneider was born in San Francisco on October 31, 1963, and grew up in the neighboring suburb of Pacifica. His father, Marvin, worked as a real estate broker, and his mother, Pilar, a former elementary school teacher, was a one-time member of the local school board. In the actor's family tree, the most different nationalities are mixed. Ancestors on the paternal line were Jewish immigrants from Ukraine and Russia, and on the maternal line were Filipinos and Americans of Scottish and English origin. Rob often plays with this mixing of bloods in his comic bits, as well as a bizarre combination of Judaism and Catholicism in his family. The comedian called his father the main humorist in the house, noting that his mother did not understand any of his jokes, but always laughed at the right time. The actor has an older brother and sister, John and April. As a matter of fact, he and his brother are not only friends, but also partners in joint projects, as John is the personal manager of our hero and the producer of his films. Rob was very shy and reserved in his early childhood, but it was his sense of humor that helped him overcome his shyness. Attending the prestigious Terra Nova High School as a teenager, he began composing funny skits for student events and soon began performing them himself. Rob's first opportunity to perform in front of a real audience was in high school. His older brother organized a band called Head On, and Rob performed for them as a warm-up act. In 1982, the young man graduated from high school and went to San Francisco State University. At the same time, he worked as a radio host, and in the evenings, he warmed up for other comedians in the city clubs. In 1987, Schneider took part in the Dennis Miller Entertainment Show and won the HBO Young Comedians competition. Then he was noticed and invited to write jokes for the popular TV show Saturday Night Live on NBC. For that, Rob moved to Los Angeles in 1988, and soon the producers of the show offered him a few roles to play in the sketches. While working there, he met Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, David Spade, Chris Rock, and other popular comedians, who became his close friends and had a great influence on his creative formation. Meanwhile, there were changes in the young man's personal life. In 1988, he married the model London King, reportedly just 3 days after they met. The following year, they had a daughter, Tanner L. Schneider, now better known by her stage name Elle King. The girl became a singer and was nominated 3 times for a Grammy. Soon after the birth of their daughter, the couple realized that they rushed the wedding, and without waiting for the second anniversary, they ended the marriage. After the divorce, Rob was seen in a relationship with fellow actress Julia Sweeney. Meanwhile, the actor began acting in TV series and feature films such as Martians Go Home and Necessary Roughness. As for the most striking work of that period, it was the second part of the cult favorite Christmas comedy Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, where Schneider got the role of the funny concierge at the Plaza Hotel owned by Donald Trump.
Hey!
Did you want me to put the key in the bag? Or did you just want to hang on to it?
I'll hang on to it.
Schneider then appeared in the comedy Surf Ninjas and The Beverly Hillbillies, and in 1994, he decided to leave Saturday Night Live. By that time, his salary per episode was $15,000, while at first it was $7,000. In 1995, the fantastic action movie Judge Dredd was released. The role of prisoner Fergie was originally planned to be given to Joe Pesci, but he refused. Then the main star Sylvester Stallone personally invited Rob Schneider. Critics did not like the film, but many viewers loved it. A year later, the actor's filmography was expanded with the films The Adventures of Pinocchio and Down Periscope, as well as an episode of the TV series Seinfeld and the comedy series Men Behaving Badly, his participation in which lasted several years. In addition, Rob founded his own charitable foundation that helped fund high schools in his hometown of Pacifica. Donations helped incorporate music instruction, pay teachers' salaries, and buy instruments and other equipment. Before Schneider's efforts, there had been no music lessons in the city's school system for many years because of lack of funding. In the following years, Rob voiced several video games starring in the movies Demolition Man, Susan's Plan, Big Daddy, Muppets from Space, and also appeared in an episode of the series Ally McBeal. In 1998, the actor played in the film based on a script by Adam Sandler, The Water Boy, and it was the first time he uttered the line, "You can do it."
You can do it! You can do it all night long!
It became Schneider's catchphrase. He repeated it in many of his films, and for many years, his fans have asked him to repeat it when they met the actor in person. The breakthrough in his career came in 1999, when the actor landed the lead role in the comedy Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. In it, Schneider played a fish tank cleaner who became a professional gigolo.
Women pay me to give them pleasure.
The small role of a woman in a Japanese restaurant whom his character takes for a client was played by the actor's mother, Pilar. Rob's daughter, Elle, also appeared in the film. In 2000, Rob starred in the movie Little Nicky, followed by another high-profile work in the comedy The Animal. In addition to playing a major role, Schneider acted as a screenwriter and was rewarded $1 million. The film again featured Pilar Schneider as a neighbor, and a photo of the father of the actor can be seen in a newspaper article about the father of the protagonist. In general, the entire film is dedicated to the memory of Schneider Sr. Rob's character got his name, Marvin, and used his car on the set.
That wasn't so bad.
There is information online that in 2001, Rob Schneider got married for the second time to a girl named Helena. Allegedly, their marriage lasted about 3 years, but there is no confirmation of that. In 2002, the actor voiced the cartoon Crazy 8 Nights and also wrote the script and starred in the comedy The Hot Chick.
Check out the sweet buns on that guy. Like to get my hands on those.
Wish they were women's breasts and squeeze the hell out of them. Maybe put a steak on them.
A film in which the coolest girl in school transforms into a simple male car mechanic was the beginning of a series of films in which a man and a woman switch bodies. Also, Rob, according to his tradition, entrusted one of the minor roles to his mother. Then Schneider's filmography was enriched by the films Around the World in 80 Days and 50 First Dates starring Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. It is worth noting that being close friends in real life, Sandler and Schneider worked on common projects a lot. Adam often acted as a producer of films starring Rob, and the latter wrote scripts for his friend. Another joint project between the two comedians was the crime comedy The Longest Yard, released in 2005. Then, viewers saw a sequel to Deuce Bigalow, which turned out to be much weaker than the original part and was nominated for the Golden Raspberry as the worst film. The film failed at the box office and got some unflattering reviews. In general, many of Schneider's works were recognized examples of vulgarity and bad taste, but the actor continually entered into controversy with film critics. For example, when the Los Angeles Times expert Patrick Goldstein wrote that Deuce Bigalow was not considered by the Oscar judges only because nobody had the foresight to invent a category for best running penis joke delivered by a third-rate comedian, Schneider responded by pointing out the lack of any awards for the author of the review. No such thing can be said of our man's other critic, Roger Ebert, for he is a Pulitzer Prize winner. Ebert explicitly stated that the sequel to the Gigolo comedy sucked. However, despite the conflict when the film critic fell seriously ill, Schneider sent a whole bunch of flowers with the note, "Your least favorite movie star, Rob Schneider." Ebert was deeply touched by his gesture and remarked that Rob was a good man and expressed his hope to see him in an interesting film someday. The actor himself explains the dislike of critics for his work by the general opinion that comedy is a low genre. For the same reason, in his opinion, comedy films don't get nominated for an Oscar. In 2006, Schneider took part in the voiceover of the animated film Sharkbait and starred in the films Grandma's Boy and The Benchwarmers. The latter was produced by Adam Sandler, who deliberately invited actor and comedian David Spade to star in the film in hopes of reconciling him and Rob after a spat some time ago. In 2007, Schneider made his directorial debut. He shot the comedy Big Stan and starred in it as a crooked real estate agent who was convicted of fraud and is preparing to go to jail.
You see a new definition? My forearm. I think I see a new vein.
I see a very sexy man.
Rob was very responsible in his work because the shooting was held in a real prison, albeit a woman's one, and the consultant for stunts was one of the students of the legendary Bruce Lee. Schneider himself trained hard and even fainted several times from food poisoning and heat stroke, but the work did not stop. By tradition, one of the roles was played by the mother of our man, and the producer was his older brother, John. In the late 2000s, Schneider starred in such films as American Crude, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, Bedtime Stories, Wild Cherry, and American Virgin. They did not get much popularity, but Rob was not discouraged, and in 2010, he presented a directorial work, The Chosen One. Also playing the main role, he put on a deeper-than-usual character and revealed himself as a dramatic actor. However, this film was not highly appreciated either.
Paul, thank God you're there. I've been
Hi, Mom.
trying to call you. Paul, I heard from your brother Neil. He is coming
I know,
tomorrow.
Mom, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now.
Well, we want to see you, Paul.
Mom, can I call you back, Mom?
In the same year, another joint comedy by Sandler and Schneider came out, Grown Ups. In it, Rob got a minor but very bright and memorable role. It was noticed by the Golden Raspberry critics once again, bestowing the actor with a nomination. This was his 7th nomination for the Anti-Prize, including a victory for Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo, and a special nomination for Worst Actor of the Decade. In 2011, Schneider married his longtime girlfriend, Mexican-born TV producer Patricia Azarcoya Arce. They met 6 years before the wedding on the set of one of the TV series and soon began dating. The ceremony took place in Mexico City, and then the newlyweds went on a honeymoon to Taiwan. A year later, they had a daughter, Miranda Scarlett, and in September 2016, her baby sister, Madeline Robbie. Then, Schneider started dubbing characters in animated movies such as Top Cat, Noah's Ark, The New Beginning, Dino Time, The Outback, The Reef 2 High Tide, The Frog Kingdom, Jungle Shuffle, Ozzy, and others. By the way, Rob possesses an excellent vocal range as he has about 50 parodies of celebrities and different characters under his belt. Also during that time, Rob starred in You May Not Kiss the Bride, Inappropriate Comedy, The Ridiculous Six, OMG I'm a Robot, and episodes of Inside Amy Schumer, as well as Hot in Cleveland. He also produced and played a central role in a series named after himself called Rob, which was released in 2012. In 2015, Schneider signed a contract with Netflix and launched the sitcom Real Rob, based on the life of his family. 2 seasons were filmed with Robert himself, his wife Patricia, and daughter Miranda as the main characters. The show was received by critics mostly negatively. Schneider's character was called unpleasant and unattractive, but Patricia's work was appreciated. They even said that with her comedic talent and wit, she eclipsed her husband. In fact, she subsequently starred in several films. In 2017, Rob Schneider appeared in the action film Life Outside and worked again with Adam Sandler, playing a friend of his character. In the comedy Sandy Wexler, the comic actors also continued their collaboration in the comedy detective Hubie Halloween. Rob also played in the comedy The Wrong Missy, appearing in a small but striking role as a crippled captain, and also returned to stand-up comedy. He introduced a new special to the public, Asian Mama, Mexican Kids, a recording of which was released on Netflix. The show received mixed reviews. Some appreciated the good and unpretentious jokes, while others found it lacking in energy and charisma. In 2021, Rob took part in the voiceover of the family comedy Pups Alone, which is based on the plot of the Christmas movie classic, but about dogs. More recently, the actor starred in Home Team, a film made famous by the return of Twilight werewolf Taylor Lautner to the screen.
Hey, Connor, Harlan, you guys up for some vegan ice cream? It tastes just like regular ice cream, as long as you've never eaten regular ice cream. Try it? Come on.
In addition, Schneider continues stand-up performances with the new comedy special Daddy-Daughter Trip. Another family project is at the stage of post-production, a comedy melodrama, Love is Love. The actor also announced a sequel to the comedy The Animal. It is reported that he will also direct, write, and produce the future project, and shooting may begin this year. Rob Schneider's fortune is estimated by various sources at between $8 and $15 million, derived from acting, writing, stand-up performances, and entrepreneurship. In the mid-90s, along with his brother John, the actor owned a nightclub in San Francisco called DNA Lounge, which had a restaurant, 7 bars, 4 dance floors, and a roomy lounge area with a huge stage. After a few years, the club had to be sold so they could focus on their family hotel and resort business. The actor has also participated several times in brand advertising campaigns. He was an official ambassador of the Taiwan Tourism Bureau, the Ten Ren Tea Company, and the American chain of home improvement stores. However, the cooperation with the insurance company State Farm did not work out. The commercial featuring Rob's character, a goofy office clerk from the 90s sketches, caused a negative reaction from the audience and was removed from the broadcast. The point is that the actor is against vaccinating children, which does not fit in with the mission of the insurance company. As a matter of fact, it's not just Schneider's attitude towards vaccinations that sets him apart from most of his colleagues in the field. He is one of the few Republicans in Hollywood, having joined the party in 2013. However, the problems in the movie industry are the same for both Democrats and Republicans. The actor was not left out of the Me Too movement. He claims that in the early days of his career, he too was humiliated by a certain famous director, now deceased. Once in the same room with him, Rob had to crawl on all fours while he was winking at him. Therefore, Schneider is well aware of those actors and actresses who are forced to endure such abuse for the sake of their careers. The Schneiders live in California, in an upscale Los Angeles neighborhood. Their home was highlighted in the media in 2015 for an unpleasant incident. The mansion was burglarized while no one was in the house. Jewelry, a Cartier watch, and a very rare Willie Mays 1951 baseball card worth $175,000 were stolen. Rob is known for collecting old baseball cards, but the burglars didn't find his main collection. In addition to baseball cards, the actor collects retro furniture and vintage clothing. Schneider has a 2-bedroom apartment in San Francisco where he stays when he travels to see the games of his favorite baseball team, the San Francisco Giants. He and his family also often come to Monterrey, Patricia's hometown, where their favorite soccer club, Tigres, is also based. In fact, thanks to his wife, Rob has become very involved in Mexican culture, especially food, and loves tacos and quesadillas. Rob used to own a 2,045-square-foot house in Los Angeles with a pool on the premises, which he sold in 2004 for $1 million. In 2003, the actor paid nearly $2 million for a 4,700-square-foot home in Pasadena, California. The mansion, built in 1926, once hosted Winston Churchill during his visit to California, as evidenced by the politician's portrait. The house has 4 bedrooms, a large living room with a fireplace, and a recreation room in front of a large television screen, and the grounds include a swimming pool and a sporting golf lawn. This property was put up for sale in 2009 for $3.6 million, but didn't sell until 2012 for $2.3 million. The actor loves expensive cars, and the best in his garage is a silver Porsche Carrera 911 sports car identical to the one he drove in the movie Deuce Bigalow. Rob also has a 2-seat convertible sports car and a Tesla. He bought the Elon Musk electric car despite his wife's doubts about its reliability. As it turned out, Patricia's fears were justified because once the car broke down right in the middle of the freeway and the police had to be called for help. Share in the comments, do you like actor Rob Schneider, or do you agree with film critics who don't take his talent seriously?
And whom do I have to thank for all this stuff? Me. Nobody else. Me.
If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.